IPMNation.com.
Hi, I'm Jake Quimby of Solo Saloon, and you're listening to IPM Nation, Local Outbreak.
Outbreak on IPM Nation. This is Matt from IPM Nation here at the studio as we record the show every Tuesday night, usually between around 6 and 7 p.m. So come on down. We do love to have a studio audience if you're in the area. The studio at 50 Canal Street in downtown Laconia, New Hampshire. TheStudioNH.com is a website if you want to check it out. Funky little gift shop and art gallery. Very cool place. Please support your local businesses as well as local music. It is very, very important. And, of course, we are also sponsored by Central NH Events. If you need a DJ for your event, you can go to centralnhevents.com. Tim Martin does a great job. centralnhevents.com. And, of course, also sponsored by Tweak Sound and Mastering. Tweaksound.com is the website. Matt Marcil, if you need to record some music, he is a great person to do this and is also a big part of what makes this show possible. We're talking into microphones owned by him right now. Tweak Sound and Mastering in Concord, New Hampshire. And we are joined this week by, this will be your third appearance on the show, if I'm not mistaken.
Third appearance.
Jake Quimby from Solo Saloon. How are you?
I am wonderful. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me again.
And this is your second time here at the studio.
Yes, this will be my second time in the studio.
And you're here by yourself this week. So it really is a solo.
It is it's not necessarily meant to be. It's obviously a duo here. You've met Christian before.
Yes.
He is the producer, but a lot of these things, he has kids, and, night with the children is important. So these things I typically field due to the fact that I have no other obligations, I guess.
Right. No, I know what you mean. Like, one of the reasons I've never had children myself is because, you have to spend time with them and stuff.
Yeah, they got to raise them, and they get, I just throw Cheerios on the floor and, put a rack up in front of the stairs, and I think they'd be fine, right?
Right.
Evolution dictates that they're not fine. That's their fault, really.
Right, exactly. I agree. So, I mean, if I had children, I would probably tell them, hey, grow up and get a job,
Right, exactly. So it's being a drain.
Yes. They're all, wanting attention all the time.
And it's like if a baby giraffe's born and hits the ground, pops right up, starts walking. Mm-hmm. We're born years of coddling, feeding, making sure you don't kill yourself doing something crazy.
So humans are slackers, really.
Really, in the evolutionary scale, we're really lazy.
Yes,
really lazy. The thumb really helped us.
That's right.
Really
yes,
helped
the
us
opposable thumb. Absolutely. So you've got some new tunes.
Yes, sir, I do.
Why don't you? We'll play something in a minute, but just quickly, if you want to tell us what did you bring with you tonight? Is this a new album? Is it an EP? Is it just some singles? Or
right now we just got some singles. We've been going through a couple transitional periods, which I'm sure we'll delve into a little bit, but. So throughout our transition, we've been remastering songs, reimagining some of the other concepts. A project that we had talked to you about before previously is now evolved into a sort of, not fallen by the wayside, but is going to take on a different life because we've now started a new EP called the OST Circus EP.
Okay.
And we can get in more detail about that later too. But so, we found ourselves frustrated by some things and decided to do what artists do, which is just focus on creating then, because that's what we can control. So.
Right, absolutely. All right, well, let's play something. What do you want to play?
First song I'm going to throw at you is a song called Lock, Stock, Tight, and all the songs tonight, the theme is sort of that these are our closer to braggadocio songs, if you will, of being more comfortable in our sound and sort of, appreciating what we got.
What's it called?
Lock, Stock, Tight.
Lock, Stock, Tight. Okay, from Solo Saloon here on Local Outbreak on IPM Nation.
Lock, stock, tight.
Picture me panicking, stiffen up like a mannequin. No, I see he's the man again. Money, hoes, weapon brandishing. Meanwhile, skills vanishing. Corporations have standards in the blender, or the bands get the banners before they hand it in. Only one with an Obi-Wan. Guess it makes me Anakin. Getting low, better roll me one. Yeah, like that plan again. Admit you're stranded in this OSD beat dismantling. Give that boy a round of applause. Yep, that's how you handle him. Back like we never left. An undiscovered mess. That feeling of wanting more while being out of breath. Beyond depth of the void of the abyss. So boy, is he a trip. To noise he lends a script. Rejoice and take a sip. His voice is like a hit of high octane. I am not playing, we do not slip. So get hip to the boys of the 603. We're coy to say the least. Our style is so unique. Lock, stop, tight. 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 Control your mind. Lock, stop, tight. Lock, stop, tight. Lock, stop, tight. Control your mind. Lock, stop, tight. Lock, stop, tight. Lock, stop, tight. Control your mind. Lock, stop, tight. Lock, stop, tight. Lock, stop, tight. Control your mind. Lock, stop, tight. Lock, stop, tight. Again. Lock, stop, tight. 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 Control your mind. Lock, stop, tight. Lock, stop, tight. Lock, stop, tight. Control your mind. Lock, stop, tight. Lock, stop, tight. Lock, stop, tight. Control your mind. Lock, stop, tight. Lock, stop, tight. Lock, stop, tight. Control your mind. Lock, stop, tight. Lock, stop, tight.
Local Outbreak on IPM Nation. This is Matt from IPM Nation. We are here at the studio at 50 Canal Street in downtown Laconia. And our guest this week returning is Jake Quimby from Solo Saloon. All right.
What's up?
All right, Jake, let's get the dirt. What happened?
Let's get the
I
dirt.
love the dirt.
All right. Unfortunately, as you know, I'm a little more coy than to just be like, a trashy tabloid kid. But so, we had some things lined up previously that we had talked about. Wanted to release the album in October, and the business side of things, when it meets, when art meets economics, things always get muddy. Mm-hmm. So the economic side didn't pan out the way we had hoped. It didn't blossom the way we had hoped, and we didn't have the control the way we had hoped. So now we are sort of doing what we do best, which is create. So that's what we're trying to focus on, is be the artist we know we are. Music, sort of speaks for itself, not to be too cocky, but so
Sure.
We have something that we like and we're passionate about. We have the means to do it, which we're grateful for. So we're focusing on that. So, we're going back through our Facebook pages, getting a revamp. Our website's getting an overhaul. We're going to be focusing on our SoundCloud and our Bandcamp websites and those portals to get the music to our fans who want it.
Right, right.
And we just want to be able to get it to them as fast as possible, as much of it as possible.
Right. Well, now, when you talk about the economics of it, I don't know how specific you want to get, but I do know that, it's very difficult. The economics of it are a challenge. Really, I think at probably any level of the music industry to some degree, but it's very difficult to earn revenue.
Sure.
It's hard to get past the break-even point when you're trying to market and sell your music, and I mean, what can you tell us about that? What is it about the economics of it that weren't working the way you're doing?
Well, I think that's how I can answer it, I guess, is to not answer it, which is awkward, but it's the economics of it in its entire, the salesmanship, like you said, how to market yourself.
Yeah.
Do we want to hold this song because of the way we feel about it? Do you want to release this as an album? Do you want to release this? And the new slogan we've been talking about is speed of creation. Mm-hmm. We create so quickly together, and what we feel is really high quality music. So why are we holding on to things for so long? Why are we looking at how we're going to do album artwork, and how are we going to, I mean, those are all important things and all things that are fun to do. But what's more important is that we can do the music, and we can do it high quality at a really rapid rate. Yeah. Overall. So I wanted to, he wanted to, Christian and I, we wanted to get it out to the people as best controlled as possible, as quickly as possible, as focused as possible.
Yeah.
So we want to give them a variety. We want to give them everything we've done so far. I mean, you can still be able to get the original albums on iTunes, stuff like that. But we want to be able to make it more interactive. Yeah. We're gonna be putting a playlist on our SoundCloud. We're gonna do create a playlist on our Bandcamp where you can make a mixtape of all of our songs if you want to for a set price or whatever.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of things going on. I mean, the website probably won't be done. I mean, I'm hoping it's Super Bowl weekend. Probably might be Valentine's Day. It might be St. Patrick's Day. We don't know. We don't. Yeah. That's the other part is speed of creation. Again, get back to that slogan. We don't want a deadline.
Right.
We don't want to worry about what we're doing next and how we fit in the market. Mm-hmm. How it would affect our fan base. Those are all things that, you know what? I'm not good. If I had a business degree, I'd be a businessman.
Yeah.
I'm a poet. I write.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stick to being what I know. I'm going to be good at what I know.
Yeah.
Stick to that.
So is this an abandonment of the concept of putting out albums or EPs?
I mean, not necessarily, because like I said, we have the OST Circus EP pretty much polished up. Yeah. Got a little bit more work on that, and then we'd like to release that as a solid, cohesive project because it is one sound. It tells one story, but we didn't. Yeah. When we started making that record, we didn't have a concept in mind. We didn't have a deadline. We didn't have a purpose for it.
Sure.
We let the music speak to us, and we spoke back to it with whatever lyrics we had, and we bounced ideas. And again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but the speed of creation thing is our new important mantra. Mm-hmm. That's what should dictate art. And that's how you make timeless art, is by going with the emotion of creation, moving at the speed of creation.
Yeah.
So that's our new mantra. That's our new focus.
Yeah. Because the situation you're in, I mean, you guys have your own studio, correct?
Thankfully, yes. We are blessed, grateful, serendipitously possess our own studio. Not serendipitously, it was hard work through Christian, but so now we have a place where we can go, that we're comfortable, that is always ready, always available, and we can write and we can produce.
Yeah.
So it's really nice. It's a huge luxury that does not go unmissed by either of us, because we know how many musician friends we have. It's even in the Lakes region that we know would love to be able to just turn it over at an unreal rate, but you can't get the studio time the way you want to do each instrument the way you want to.
Right.
So I'm lucky to have Christian, who's such a orchestrated composer, and I'm lucky to have the time and the whatever the means, I guess.
Yeah, so it's not something you take for granted, clearly.
Absolutely not. I can't. I'm thankful every day. Every day that I get to go in there, I swear to you, I knock on the barn door because it's wood, and I just thank you. Just thank you for another chance.
Yeah, because I'm always interested with everyone I talk to what goes into the decision-making process as far as whether to do an album, whether to do an EP, whether to just do singles, because we're all blessed in the sense that we live in this time, in this era where you can do that. 10 years ago, approaching it the way you are approaching it now, even 10 years ago was technologically possible, but really kind of unheard of still. And 20 years ago, forget it. You know, you couldn't do it that way.
No. And I think the culture of the internet and Steve Jobs' brilliance with iTunes and that kid with Napster really made the buffet style music, sort of, which is really harkening back to Motown. Not to get too music theory on everybody, but I mean the reality is the musical biscuit and the 45 record for $1. Like it's always been a model to generate money. It's not lost on us, but so what?
But isn't that interesting? See, I hadn't really thought of that, but in a way, it has come full circle in the sense that is how it was done then. 45 singles. Yes. That at one time, the business was, at least in the example of Motown, very singles driven.
Oh, Smokey Robinson, they'd have their tribunal or whatever, and they'd have their group, and you have $1 in your pocket. You want a sandwich of this single, and if the single didn't beat the sandwich, you went back in the studio. Got another record. So, I mean, it's the same thing now with iTunes. You want to get an iTunes hit. The problem is back then, that was more of a boot camp for artist development. Now people are looking for the grand slam. They want their 1.99 hit that can also get them ringtones.
Right.
You make $1 million, you never have to do anything else again.
Right.
That deludes the art part of it, which some of us kind of enjoy.
When I was just thinking too about when Prince, back in the 90s, when he left Warner Brothers and because he was so frustrated with his contract and whatnot, part of the reason he wanted to get out at the time was that he was making music faster than they were willing to release it. You know, because he's a guy who, you know, like you, he just wants to create. And In fact, recently he just, he's back in the major label system, I guess, sort of, but he just put out 2 albums at once recently. But he wanted to, he was creating music so fast and they weren't willing to release it that quickly because in the major label system, of course, you put something out and then you work it for the next year.
Well, yeah,
2
you want to do
years,
6 weeks with the first single, and then you want to push the video, and then you want to do it right. It's the hoops. It's the 3-ring circus they want you to dance in. That sometimes it's just like I don't understand it.
Right.
Sometimes I just fundamentally don't understand it. I don't see the purpose, and I get the economy of it. Nobody has to comment on Facebook and say I don't understand how free market works. I get it, but I don't get it philosophically.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it must be liberating to kind of to ditch that and say, like you said, speed of creation. You make something, you put it out. And
when Christian and I finally sat down and really got to the heart of this, it was what was frustrating us the most. And it wasn't we don't mind. We've done this before. We did our 3rd album was an entire concept album about one man in love. Like we do concept albums, we do complete projects, but we also did a bunch of records in between that would be, it doesn't fit the sequencing, so this song doesn't make it. And it doesn't fit with this theme, so this song doesn't make it. Yeah. And we're going through his old Roland machine that we just retired. Rest in peace to the Roland. And, we got 10, 15 songs that we love that have never seen the light of day. Why? Why? We live in the internet era. Why?
Right.
Who are we trying to, and are we pirates? Are we profiteers now? This is our booty that we got to hide from people? No.
Back in the 90s, you would have taken them and put out an album of B-sides.
Exactly. Yeah. Or something that had been the leaked or the lost tapes or whatever.
Yeah, bootleg, yeah.
And it's like, why? Why are we... So what that these aren't mastered? So what that some of these aren't finished? That's what SoundCloud is for.
Right.
We now live in a world where you can go on this thing called the internet and find what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Whatever it may be.
Exactly.
So why not? Now that we have these tools, I mean, it was been staring us in the face since we first became a band.
Yeah.
To be realistic with it, I almost feel silly that we're only getting to this 4.5 years in, and we didn't do this to start. But
sure,
you get it's a little bit arrogant when you're an artist. You're a little bit arrogant. It takes a little bit of arrogance to get out here and stand in front of everybody and say you can do this anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
So when you start when you really you get proud of yourself or you do something that you think is great, you then want it to be treated that way.
Exactly.
So you get this sort of and it's. I guess the bigger thing is putting our egos, more mine probably, but our egos aside and saying, give it to them. Here it is.
Right.
And if eventually one song gets 50,000 likes or clicks or spin, whatever they do, that's when people will pay attention because that's how the world works now. Yeah. Or they won't.
Right.
And you know what? I'm totally cool with that too.
Yeah.
I'm getting more comfortable with just appreciating what we have.
Yeah.
And appreciating being able to do this.
Right.
Appreciate being able to contact you and get a larger audience to hear what I'm saying.
Sure.
So I just want to make sure that I'm coming off more thankful now that I'm lucky to be an artist, especially in the current climate and economic turmoil of our lives.
Right.
I'm thankful beyond thanks.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. Very cool. Why don't we play another track? What do you want to play?
By all means, to kind of go along the struggle thing, I got a record. Next one's called In Out Soul.
Okay.
So I think you guys will dig this one.
All right, cool. This is In Out Soul from Solo Saloon here on Local Outbreak on IPM Nation.
Though my mind sometimes betrays me, and the rhyme inside she plays me, though the youth ignore the aging, there's a war forever waging in our soul. Though my mind sometimes betrays me, and the rhyme inside she plays me, though the youth ignore the aging, there's a war forever waging in our soul. In our soul. In our soul. In our soul. If I had known I started slow. If I had known I'd be grown, I'd be grown. If I had known I started slow. If I had known out, soul caliber defect. Pride's on the side of the mind of a reject. Deep breath, solo moment just so you can reflect. Linger in the line of death just so you can be next. Prefects, delegates, consulates, queens. Everyone is sowing seeds while bursting at the seams. Thirsting for a dream, but the well seems dried up. Try to free their mind, but their thoughts seem tied up. I just wanna take the focus off the lies, cause those they claim king never seem to be the wisest. Those they claim meek seem to be those that surprise us, and those that seem to humor seem to be those who inspire us. Dial us back from the edge, peep the rhetoric. Subject flies over their head, peep the predicate. Time is underrated and money so irrelevant. The devil's in the details, accomplishments are heaven sent. So in out, so in out, so in out, so if I had known, I'd started slow. If I had known, I'd be grown, I'd be grown. If I had known, I'd started slow. If I had known, I'd be grown, I'd be grown. If I had known, I'd started slow. If I had known, I'd be grown, I'd be grown. So in out, so in out, so in out, so.
Local Outbreak on IPM Nation. We are at the studio in downtown Laconia. Our guest this week, Jake Quimby from Solo Saloon. Obviously, I've asked you this before on the show, but I can't remember the answer. So,
Sure.
What does Solo Saloon mean? Where does the name come from?
Always a fun story to tell because it really isn't that amazing. So Christian's sitting at the board making a beat for our first album. I can't remember what record it is. Probably not that important. And he's like, "This is like we're in record 2 or 3. We're in the very early stages. We're not even a month old. Okay, we've made one record together." And he's like, "How do you feel about the name Solo Saloon?" And I was like, "For a song?" And he was like, "I don't know." And I was like, "Okay." And he's like, "Well, you know, what's that sound like to you?" I'm like, "I don't know. It sounds cool." He's like, "That's what I mean. Doesn't it just sound cool to say out loud?" And I was like, Solo Saloon. Yeah, it does. It really rolls off the tongue. It's a nice alliteration.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Well, how about that for a band name?" And I was like, "That'd be an awesome band name." And he was staring at me, and I was like, "Oh, like we're in a band." Like I was still super rap mentality, so I'm like,
"Oh, okay."
So for me, it was lost for a second, and I was like,
"Yeah,
oh, like we're like you and me, like we're our band." And he was like, "Yeah, what if we were Solo Saloon?" I was like, "Well, now I really like it because there's 2 of us. So now it's like funky."
Right.
And he was like, "Cool. So we'll do this under Solo Saloon." And I was like, "Done."
Yeah.
But as far as like it representing something deeper than it sounds cool to say out loud, now it means something to us because we built it. Now we're 4.5 years in, it's who we are. But how it started, no, it sounded cool to say out loud.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
That's it. It sounded clever.
Yeah.
It would have been a song if I'd have said something to follow it fast, probably. We would have never had it as a band name, but I didn't, so there you go.
So are you guys playing out a lot? Because it sounds like you're really heavy into the recording these days.
Yeah, that was the other, the economic side, again, that was frustrating is, and they have every right to be, and I am not knocking anybody, and I appreciate anybody who's working hard for the independent artists in New Hampshire, Lakes region, New England, wherever.
Yeah.
But, a lot of booking agents have either their cover band or their country band or their local act or their whoever that they roll with, and they're consistent, and that they don't, no one who has money coming in wants to rock the boat.
Right. Yeah. Very
I get
true.
that. Like you got money, you got checks clearing, you got stuff you got to do, you got bills. This is America.
Yeah.
But so you call, you don't get booked, or you get a show on a date that isn't necessarily what you want,
right?
Or it doesn't jive time wise, and again, it was we weren't controlling how we were presenting ourselves.
Yeah.
And we feel like we can do that better with how we're going to be presenting ourselves in the future on the internet. Which is really why I was thankful to get this interview again, so I could say that
sure.
solosaloon.com is coming back. It will be linked to SoundCloud and Bandcamp. We will be giving you all of our back catalog along with new music and a whole new EP. We got plenty of stuff coming.
Yeah. Excellent.
And that's when we hope that venues around the area would like to hear some of it live, in which case we'd love to do it for them.
So it is just the two of you now. It's you and Christian, which is how it started, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah. It was the birth of this, and we were never sure where it was going to begin with.
Yeah.
And so, but this transition is hard because the other member of the band wasn't it for a while, and just timing, family stuff, life.
Yeah.
It wasn't any. There's no animosity. I love him. I miss him. I hope whatever he's doing next, he succeeds in.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's just it didn't work out for us, and it's weird because we started as a duo, but I guess Christian always had this idea of there's no set rules to it. So it started with just me and him, and there was always the idea of adding pieces, because we use different instruments that people don't use. We're big into the keyboard, we're big into the xylophone, we're big into strings, we're big into things that you don't typically hear from a hip hop based band, if you will.
Yeah.
Other than maybe like the Roots.
Right.
So, when we're getting into this, and we add pieces, and sometimes it doesn't work, and sometimes it does, or however you want to word it. I think it's just as it grows for us, as Christian and I become more syncopated, as we create more, as we were getting in the studio more often than other people could meet us, it was evolving into us staying a duet anyway.
Right.
Not for it was just organically. It wasn't a set thing. It just sort of drifted into this way where now it's back to how we were birthed, just the two of us. Writing records and seeing where it goes, being more comfortable, taking advice from each other, taking cues from each other, being more comfortable doing multiple takes different ways, being more comfortable saying, well, I've never heard anybody do that. Okay, then that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't, no rules, speed of creation.
Right.
That's it. Just if we can create it, we can give it. So
how involved are you in the production? Because obviously you're doing the vocals.
Well, I would say I'm much more the word guy.
Yeah.
Christian definitely helps and tweaks lyrics. I don't want to say he doesn't write songs.
Sure.
I would say I'm more of the writer, but I can't stress enough when I say that the more we become syncopated, like today we're in the studio for a couple hours this afternoon.
Yeah.
Before his kids got out of school, and we're making a song tentatively titled "Angry." I don't know when it's coming out. You'll probably see it on the website, whatever.
Yeah.
And he's making these drums, or the piano part, and I hear these drums in my head, and I just go, on this part, can you go da-da-da-da-da? And he was like, yeah. And 2 clicks later, and he hits play, start over, and all of a sudden that part comes, and the drums are just there.
Yeah.
It's exactly what I heard in my head.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, cool. Or he just said something today, and I was like, that's the hook. And I had to rewrite it 4 times, but basically what he said was the hook. So it's, we're sharing, we're shaking hands. One hand washes the other. It's not, I can't say anymore. When it was in the beginning, it was I was writing the raps. He was either writing the hooks, or I would write a sub hook and he'd sing it or something like that. But it was very much separated. Now we're very much same little room, same things going on. While he's engineering, while he's producing, I'm writing, so that it's happening at the speed of creation.
Yeah. No, that's really cool, because I remember the last time you were here, and of course, last time Christian was here with you. I remember you guys were talking about how easy it is.
Yeah.
How you kind of each understand what the other wants sonically, and it's very easy to kind of work together that way, which is I think kind of a rare thing to find. So it makes sense that you guys continue to do this and work this way, and that Solo Saloon really does continue to be the two of you, because you obviously are very connected musically in that way.
It works, man. It really does. It works. I can't say any other way. It just works, and I think we're not unaware of that. And that's another reason that we want to stay appreciative, is that we've both been in other projects or done other things, or have been solo, where I've been given a beat by a producer and written to it 5 different times for 2 weeks, a month, and I've given him an okay song.
Yeah.
And I'm turning over 2 songs in a 12-hour session with him, and they're both gonna make an album. So it's different. It's definitely something that we're both cognitive of and try to not lose.
Yeah.
So,
and how do you, I know we talked about this last time, but I think for anyone who's new to the show or just hearing you for the first time, I think this bears repeating. How do you define yourself? Because, you rap, but you don't want to tag yourself as a rapper, because then you get put into this weird box and people don't understand really what you do. I mean, how do you...
We go with poet, or rhythmic American poet, because it's sort of like an acronym for rap, even though it's not.
Okay, now that I hadn't heard you say last time.
Oh, okay. Well, we use it's a clever acronym for rap. It is not where rap came from.
Yeah.
If anybody's curious, it's actually, people used to say when you talk to kids, you rapped with them. And then people started talking on records.
Yeah.
So they just said they were rapping.
Right,
and
right.
that's how it was called rap. So rhythmic American poetry was not originally what it was.
Yeah.
But the acronym fit and it started being passed around in circles. And I thought,
like that.
Well, because we don't focus on the poetry part of it. We don't focus on the fact that Eminem's got a verse in the Smithsonian for perfect pentameter. Like, that's something we should acknowledge. That's important. Like, this is not just...
Does he?
Yeah, he's got, or Harvard. Somebody's got it.
Huh.
He's got a perfect. Well, I can't remember which verse it is right now. I wish I had. Shouldn't have dropped that without being able to back it up. Someone in Google,
that's all right.
Google fact check me, and you'll see I'm right. It's in there. It's somewhere popular.
If it was anyone, it would make sense. It would be him.
Yeah,
because
but
he's that good.
So it's and it's hard if you. I mean, we started with folk hop and something like that, trying to keep it kitschy, but keep it because I do love hip hop culture. I do feel that I am contributing to that in a way. I don't mind being called a rapper by people who understand.
Sure.
But what we're doing is a lot like what Killer Mike and Real LP are doing with Run the Jewels. But like people around here will hear Killer Mike, and they're not putting together the killing Mike's Killer Mike. Like he's a rapper, ha ha. No, they're like, oh, he's a killer because that's what rap is now. He's shooting people. So you can't even have a metaphor anymore. So if I say rapper, it's if it's white rapper, I'm either angry or I'm Macklemore.
Right.
So either I have to do like that Esham or ICP crazy stuff, or I have to shop at a thrift store. Like those are the only two options I have. So it's just so I just go with poet. I'm just a poet. I'm just a Robert Frost loving New Hampshireite who found a different way to get it out.
But you're not just like there's some singing. I mean, like who's doing like on a track like Cool Help Cool, for example.
Okay.
Like I remember which we played last time. Is that you doing all the vocals, or does Christian do some of that too?
Well, what Christian has done amazingly, and we're also super lucky, is that our voices sound cool together.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing, he says I'm singing a little bit. I don't think I sing. I think what I do is I sort of speak in harmony. I rap in a tone.
Okay.
I emote a little bit, I guess, and that sort of blends well with him singing.
Yeah.
But he's always the singer. He's always singing, and any of the good notes you hear are always him.
Gotcha.
All I'm doing is backing him up quietly, and if I ever sound good, it's because he's a really good engineer. That's all that is. I mean, you might catch me do some. I'm okay in the shower, maybe.
Yeah.
But like in my car with the windows up, and you can't hear me, and Taylor Swift's playing, maybe I'm singing okay.
Right.
But other than that, nah, I'm good. I don't sing.
Yeah. Has the subject matter changed at all with the newer stuff?
Yes. Not in a sense of, I mean, we were quasi-revolutionary, self-empowerment, love yourself and be proud of yourself.
Which I dig.
Yeah, and that's not going anywhere, but we sort of drifted. It's hard to, especially this day and age, humble does not get a lot of respect.
Right.
Humility does not get your foot in the door.
Right.
So now Christian's sort of taken me a little bit more off, instead of not off the leash, because he never had me locked down, but he always had me focused on writing something better than just I'm better than you, blah blah blah.
Right.
And so there was always concepts, there was always stories, there was always one-upsmanship of the craft.
Yeah.
Make good poetry.
Right.
But he's loosened up a little bit with because he feels the same. He's starting to feel the palpable frustration that I'm feeling of this is the best stuff I've ever done, and we're not getting it out there. It's not getting the response that I feel like it should be, which I know is arrogant, but you get that feeling, you get that juice going, and you want.
It's not arrogant. It's confident.
Yeah, I want to get it out there. I want you to hear what I'm doing. I know comparatively to what's out there, I can do that as well.
Yeah.
So it's just it's now he's letting me sort of speak on that of how. What we're doing is different, and it's almost better than what's out there. And I'm not scared to let you know that the last song, I don't want to jump ahead, but the last song we're playing is actually, and we'll probably tie it back in, is a song that I titled Zeitgeist Heist. And it's because once I didn't know what Zeitgeist meant, and I saw this documentary suggested on Netflix, once I started watching it, realized it was all art, culture, and everything as one thing is called Zeitgeist. I was like, well, that's what I want. I want the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm taking all of it.
Yeah,
I want you to talk about me in the coffee shop, in the museum, in the bookstore, on hip hop labels, on country stations, from Alabama to Alaska. I'm coming.
Right.
You're gonna know my name.
Yeah.
I want the whole thing.
Right.
He's starting to let me. But again, I have to say, it's clever. It's good poetry, but I'm allowed to now sort of tell you that it's good poetry.
Right.
Tell you that my production is sort of better than what you're hearing on the radio. You should probably listen to what Christian's doing.
Right.
I'm allowed that bit more freedom to be a little more, but it's still definitely the human experience, because that's what's more. I try to, not as cliche as it sounds, but I want to be a man of the people. I want to be that that person that if you feel like you're having I write songs for the person in the car at the end of the day. They're driving home and they got 5 minutes left of their drive, and maybe it's their first cigarette of the night or their last cigarette of the day or whatever, their coffee right before they walk. It's their 3 minutes.
Yeah. And
they put my song on.
Yeah.
Because that's what puts them at ease to finish whatever's next.
Right.
I want to be that guy.
Yeah.
That's what my aim is. I don't want to see like I'm above you. I don't want to be the Jay-Z mogul.
Right.
I don't want that life.
Yeah.
I want to be the guy I want to be the next Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
That's always there and always looked to and always has a record that makes sense.
Right. And that's an interesting perspective because, I've had the experience, and I'm sure you have too, where you listen to a song that makes you feel that way, that that 3 minutes it just makes you feel so good that you wish that you could, you almost wish that you could communicate directly to the person who wrote it or produce it and say, you have no idea what this means to me, Oh,
there's been multiple times in my life I could probably sit here for the next 3 hours, Matt, and just talk to you about records that I've genuinely sat down and thought about writing a letter to the artist, never knowing if they're ever going to get it, but being like, you have no idea that like this song completely shifted how I thought about everything on earth.
Yeah.
You opened my eyes to things I never thought of. You made me read books I never thought I'd read. Like, you've brought me someplace I never thought I'd go. Thank you.
Right.
And then to ever think that I could ever transition to be that person is so humbling and insane that that's why I can't stop saying I'm not thankful. Like, this is insane. It's insane to be able to do this. So
right.
It's a cool ride.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's play another track. What do you want to play?
Next record's called Loud, and it's basically about how we want to turn the volume up. We make it loud.
Awesome. And this is, by the way, is this a world premiere on all these tracks tonight?
No one else has, I don't think, ripped any of these. I think you are the Lock, Stock, Tight, maybe. Lock, Stock, Tight might have been somewhere else, but on our actual release date, our fans who wanted a copy of the album, we burned copies and mailed it to them. Yeah, autographed. So so there's about 16 people who have these records anyway. But in terms of radio play, you are numero uno on 3 of these records.
We like the world premieres.
World premiere on 3 of them.
All right, awesome. All right, this is Loud from Solo Saloon here on Local Outbreak on IPM Nation.
Replace the shrouds, we make it loud. We chase the clouds, we face the proud. Do what we vow, we make it loud. We take you down, we play the crowds. Replace the shrouds, we make it loud. We chase the clouds, we face the proud. Do what we vow, we make it loud. We take you down, we play the crowds. Replace the shrouds, we make it loud. We chase the clouds, we face the proud. Do what we vow, we make it loud. We take you down, we play the crowds. Replace the shrouds, we make it loud. We chase the clouds, we face the proud. Do what we vow, we make it loud. Don't stand up if you don't want to. Don't be the man with a plan you don't want to. Never take a chance if you don't want to. Play it safe for your life if you want to. Me, what I'm gonna do, mad dash to the razor's edge. Face the ledge, somersault off, continue on my dredge. What is next? How do I make it better? Complex nouns, what I say, so clever. Everybody wanna be great, however none embrace the suffering for their endeavors. Me, I take the good with the bad, embrace it all. He makes the music, that's how I'm speaking to y'all. We be the change and do our best to inspire, simply by channeling our thoughts and desires. You show us love and that makes us proud, man. We show it back when we make it loud. We take you down, we play the crowds. Replace the shrouds, we make it loud. We chase the clouds, we face the proud. Do what we vow, we make it loud. We take you down, we play the crowds. Replace the shrouds, we make it loud. We chase the clouds, we face the proud. Do what we vow, we make it loud.
to, if you want, if you want, if you want to,
if you want, if you want to,
if you want, if you want, if you want to,
if you want to,
if you want to,
if you want to, if you want to,
if you want to,
if you want to, if you want to,
if you want to,
if you want to,
if you want to, if you want to,
if you want to,
if you want to, if you want to.
we take you down, we play the crowds, replace the shrouds, we make it loud, we chase the clouds, we face the proud, do what we vow, we make it loud, we take you down, we play the crowds, replace the shrouds, we make it loud, we chase the clouds, we face the proud, do what we vow, we make it loud, if you want to,
If you want to, if you want to, if you want to,
we make it loud,
if you want to, if you want to,
want to,
if you want to, if you want to,
we make it loud, if you want to,
if you want to, if you want to, if you want to,
we make it loud,
if you want to, if you want to,
if you want to,
if you want to, if you want to,
we make it loud.
Local Outbreak on IPM Nation. This is Matt from IPM Nation. And before we wrap up tonight with Jake from Solo Saloon, I do want to remind everybody, of course, we are sponsored by Central NH Events. If you need a DJ for your event, go to centralnhevents.com. And also, of course, Matt Marcil from Tweak Sound and Mastering, tweaksound.com. If you need to do some recording done, he does a phenomenal job. And of course, we do record the show every Tuesday night here at the studio at 50 Canal Street in downtown Laconia. Funky little gift store and art gallery. Always a very cool place. Cool environment. Most of the guests who come in here end up buying something. So definitely check it out. TheStudioNH.com is the site if you want to take a look online. But please support your local businesses as well as local music. Very, very important. And we, of course, do archive all the shows at IPMNation.com/local outbreak. And, of course, you can hear them on 100.1 The Planet now every Saturday night at 9 p.m. And then the show replays every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. So very grateful to the people at Northeast Communications for that. And our guest this week, of course, Jake Quimby from Solo Saloon.
Hey, hey.
And Jake, where do we find you online and keep up on everything that you're doing?
Well, right now we're in that transition I was telling you about earlier.
Yeah.
We're in this little revamp, but we do have a website called solosaloon.com, and it's under construction. But like I said, hopefully Super Bowl weekend, if not by Valentine's Day, if not by St. Patrick's Day. If you keep checking back with us, I promise you, you'll be beyond pleasantly surprised with what we're going to be doing and offering you.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, if you've been casually following us, if you've been unsure about what I've been doing, if you only know me or Christian as people outside of what we do musically, I think you're going to get an overwhelming amount of music. And I think that is hopefully will shift everybody's attention to what was important to us in the first place, which was the music.
Yeah,
the
very
art,
cool.
the creation.
And of course, I assume there's a Facebook page and all that.
Oh, yeah, / Solo Saloon Music, I believe, is the Facebook page. But if you just search Solo Saloon on Facebook, we're on there.
You can probably Google it, unless there's somewhere, like a place called Solo Saloon somewhere. I'm sure that...
well, the only other place we got is a pub in North Carolina, so just know that we're not a pub in North Carolina.
So there is a pub in North Carolina called Solo Saloon?
But we own the trademark rights, so they better just stay down and stay quiet, because
that's right.
They don't want the problems.
That's right.
We got lawyers. We don't want the problems.
That's right.
Just kidding. I love the people of North Carolina. Whatever.
Yeah. We have a lot of listeners there.
Yeah, I have. This show's heavy in Raleigh.
They're very in Raleigh. They're very concerned with the New Hampshire music scene.
Thumb on the pulse, man.
That's right. And what do you have? Do you have anything aside from the website that's going to be relaunching? I mean, do you have any shows or anything coming up, or are you just focused on recording right now?
We're really focused on recording, and honestly, we're really focused on closing up this OST Circus EP, which I think is really going to impress a lot of people. Old fans will be beyond pleasantly surprised, and anybody new has not heard what this is, and it's going to be. And I'm not just saying that because we recorded it and you haven't heard it. I mean, nothing like this has been recorded this way, I don't believe.
What's OST? Can you tell me, or is it a surprise?
It's just what I call Christian, just his nickname.
Oh, okay. OST.
OST.
All right. Okay. When I hear OST, I think original soundtrack, but that's probably just because of my previous job, where I worked in a music store where it would say OST on the little price stickers if it was an original soundtrack.
So there are little OST stickers somewhere, like about in the earth?
Yeah, there are.
Because I'll need to get a sheet of those and put them on all the things in the studio. And I'm sure he would find that awesome.
There you go.
Oh, man. Oh, he can hear this. This is on the radio. Damn.
That's right.
So just kidding, Christian. I'm not going to sticker the studio with OST stickers. That'd be crazy.
You won't be able to surprise him now.
That'd be crazy.
You ruined the surprise.
Never do that. That's rude.
No,
and
yes.
I am not a rude person.
That's right.
I show respect.
Matter of fact, that whole thing I said about the stickers that wasn't real.
That's not even true.
That's not even true.
Matt was telling a story.
Those
for
don't exist.
Prank caller.
I imagine things,
it happens.
and then I say them, and they didn't really happen. Yeah, so
definitely not.
So everything's cool.
Right.
All right, very good. Well, Jake, thanks so much for being here tonight. This has been great.
Can't thank you enough, Matt. I'm super thankful that this all worked out, and I'm really excited for what's to come for us. I really hope everybody else gets excited because it's going to be fun. I think this next year is going to be big. So
yeah, absolutely. What do you want to play to wrap up?
The last song is probably one of my favorites. That was one of my most proudest moments writing thus far, poetically. And it's a song called Zeitgeist Heist.
All right.
So
cool. Yeah, that's right. You were talking about this one earlier, so I look forward to hearing it. All right, this is Zeitgeist Heist from Solo Saloon here on Local Outbreak on IPM Nation. Thanks, Jake.
Thank you.
We keep our piece of the pie, give you a slice of life. Our Thomas Crown affairs contingent on a zeitgeist heist. Zeitgeist heist. Zeitgeist heist. Our Thomas Crown affairs contingent on a zeitgeist heist. Piece of the pie, give you a slice of life. Our Thomas Crown affairs contingent on a zeitgeist heist. Zeitgeist heist. Zeitgeist heist. Our Thomas Crown affairs contingent on a zeitgeist heist. Too lonely, in the mountain. Snow is falling, sun is shining, heat rising up high. Heat rising up high. Got a house in the village, two alone in the woods. See a lot of snowy evenings, probably more than we should. Know what's in a hot dog and how to make a sausage. Pass around our collection plates, but never ask what you're offering. We don't ask for much, matter of fact, we don't ask for nothing. Return to the womb of the world is a thought. Man, ain't that something? Man, ain't we special? Man, ain't we great? Man, ain't we something else set inside an empty space? Too lonely in the mountain. Snow is falling, sun is shining, heat rising up high. Heat rising up. Too lonely in the mountain. Snow is falling, sun is shining, heat rising up high. Rising up, heat rising up. We keep our piece of the pie, give you a slice of life. Our Thomas Crown affairs contingent on a zeitgeist heist. Zeitgeist heist. Zeitgeist heist. Our Thomas Crown affairs contingent on a zeitgeist heist. We keep our piece of the pie, give you a slice of life. Our Thomas Crown affairs contingent on a zeitgeist heist. Zeitgeist heist. Zeitgeist heist. Our Thomas Crown affairs contingent on a zeitgeist heist. We keep our piece of the pie, give you a slice of life. Our Thomas Crown affairs contingent on a zeitgeist heist. Zeitgeist heist. Zeitgeist heist. Our Thomas Crown affairs contingent on a zeitgeist heist. IPMNation.com